Hey, welcome back to another episode of It's a Football Thing. As always, I'm your host, RJ, and I'm joined by my fellow co-host and champion mate, Scott the Gooner, Rob the Red Devil. How are we this evening, gentlemen? Robbie, I'll go to you first.
Yeah, I'm in a good mood. Despite our result, I'm sure we'll cover, but I'm in a pretty good mood. Looking forward to the weekend. Looking forward to supporters club meeting up for the game on the Saturday. So I'm in a bit of a happy mood today. So looking forward to talking some football with you guys as usual.
I'm glad you're not burning, but that's all right. Scott, how you going, my man?
I'm looking forward to it. This is the beauty of my team having not played yet. They can't ruin this show for me, so I can come on, I can laugh at Rob, cheer with my mate Shano because Newcastle are staying up, and after tomorrow I'll be disappointed, I'm sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm relieved. I'll say that. I'm wearing the lucky yellow, the yellow submarine. The mighty Chelsea got past AFC Continental Champions Al Hilal in a nail biter. It shouldn't have been, but it was. So I'm very pleased about that, of course. But equally a little bit disappointed about the sour toffees, which I know, Scott, you were very happy to see. But we're going to unpack all of that great stuff. Scott, I'm sure you've got a few welcomes in this great chat so far.
Yeah. Before we kick off and unpack some of these results, our man Shano is in the house. We're staying up. Mate, I've been with you on this from the beginning, Shano. I think Newcastle will stay up easy, mate, and Rob's going to take his L. I think we got Tom here. Good evening, Tom. If you haven't seen Tom's content, check out the United Pubcast. They do a madness over there. We got Declared in here. Declared already. The banter started in the live chat. Welcome, Declared. And we have our man Daniel for now. I'm sure more of our friends will be here shortly. Boys, there were some great results. There were some great games. Plenty to talk about. Let's chuck some of the results on the screen, and then let's talk about which ones really stood out for us. We might get the Club World Cup stuff out of the way first, RJ, because let's face it, you're the one who would care about this most. Chelsea scraping through against the juggernauts that are Al Hilal. Did you see? I know the game wasn't really televised down here. Did you manage to catch it, or?
I can't confirm nor deny, mate, how I accessed the game. Look, to be honest with you, it was via extended highlights. I was actually meant to be on Chelsea TV with a few other fans, but because of the restrictions, I said, look, I didn't want to follow it via social media stuff. Hey, man. So I just decided to catch up on extended highlights the next day and go through all the chit-chatter there. From all the accounts, from all the highlights I saw, we just overall didn't play very well. We controlled things as you'd expect, but Al Hilal, to their credit, and they weren't getting enough of it before the game. There's a lot of disrespect for these outside of European countries, which I'm not a big fan of, because they've earned their right to be there, and they played with plenty of spirit. They've had some good players, Pereira, Igalo. There's some good attacking players, and they caused us a bit of trouble. Kepa stood up. He's been a great deputy for Edouard Mendy, who's now back in the scene. But overall, Lukaku back on the scoring sheet, so a little bit of redemption for him. But I tell you what, they're going to be up against a very spirited Palmeiras from Brazil, and it's not going to be a walkthrough. If they play like that, you've heard it here, I'm very concerned about the results. So I just hope we do enough just to get by and bring that trophy home.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think Palmeiras will give you a good go. We know that Brazilian teams play that jogo bonito sometimes, that beautiful attacking football.
Passionate too, mate.
But Chelsea, to me, and this is an outsider's viewpoint, I feel like you're okay on the defensive end at this point, but your attack is where the issue is. Now, I know Lukaku scored, and that's good for him. I still saw large sections of the Chelsea fan base online slating him. Like, the guy's put in the goal that spared your blushes. So I just don't know why this attack's not ticking for Thomas Tuchel. I tipped you guys to win the league. You know, I had my tickets on Chelsea this season, but it just hasn't been. I think once you can unlock that attack, you'll become more dangerous. I know
it's just a lot of chopping and changing. And Rob, I'm sure you see it from an outsider point of view, but between Havertz, between Werner, who's in and out of the team, Ziyech, out of all players, who I've always fancied under Lampard's old system when he played that more attacking 4-3-3 style, but under Tuchel, when it's been more of a 3-4-3, 3-4-2-1, he's been someone that's been quite left out because of he doesn't have as much freedom on that right-hand flank. but he's been in my opinion, the form player for us in attack over the last month. So he's continuing to be an important player for us. But yeah, like you said, Scott, the rest of the attack, they just can't seem to get it together. And some of it's the attack and some of it's also the midfield not engaging them properly, I'd say as well. Rob,
Are you
thoughts?
shocked they're not banging in goals, Robbie? I'm shocked. Are you? Are you shocked that they're not banging in goals?
I think it's, if you asked me this back 1 or 2 months ago, that's when I was more shocked. But because it's been a little bit more of a, it's been a consistent thing that they've had a little bit of troubles more up front compared to the bank. Like at the back, they always look pretty tight with clean sheets and stuff. But yeah, like I said, it's been a few months that they've been kind of nearly to us, except getting the game over the line of 1-0, 2-1s, or just not putting the game like to bed either. So like
the killer punch, Rob, the killer punch, we're just lacking it.
Killer punch that we're always missing. But no, you guys seem to get it. Even if when you're not playing at your best, you're still getting the results. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. You're in the final. Like I said, Palmeiras will they'll have heaps of passion for this, man. Real, like the Brazilians, that they'd love to get one over the European boys. So that'll be actually a good final. Again, I only seen the highlights today. Kepa, I think he must be one of the best, reserve goalkeepers out there at the moment, because he really is.
The best.
He's been like when he's at the stand in, he's done his job, and he deserves
full credit to him, isn't it? Considering 12 months ago, the amount of scrutiny he copped, and some of it was justified in the sense of his on-field performances, but he's really bounced back and shown to be a more than capable number 2. And I put a poll out.
I think he'll start.
Well, that's the question, Rob. I put a poll out today just out of curiosity. Mendy, remember, AFCON keeper of the tournament, won the goalkeeper of the year, cut his celebration short from AFCON to come back and join the group. Do you pick him as a safe option, or do you give the guy that's been doing a great job more trust to give himself a chance to kick on?
I pick my best keeper. If I'm Thomas Tuchel, whoever I think the best keeper is, that's who starts, because this is not an exhibition match. This is not a friendly. It's a cup in a season where it looks like cups aren't going to be easy for Chelsea to come by. You want to lock it down. So to me, sure, there's plenty of sentiment, but this is the same Kepa who also hasn't always shown the greatest sentiment in the past. They're professionals. The manager has to win, because at the end of the day, if you don't win this, it's not Kepa who's going to be under pressure. It's Thomas Tuchel. So if I'm Tuchel, I'm playing whoever I think the best keeper is, and for me, that's Mendy. It's as simple as that in my mind. Who starts for you, Robbie? Mendy, Kepa?
Kepa for me. I really think he'll start it, and I disagree with the point. If they were to lose it, I don't think there'll be any pressure on Tuchel on this one. No, it's a very unique trophy, and it's something that Chelsea will definitely want, because they haven't, like obviously last time against St. Paulo they lost it, so it's something to finish their collection off. But I don't think this will be, if they lose it, I don't think it'll be like, okay, Tuchel out kind of thing.
No pressure at all. I mean, let's just.
I think you'll have more pressure on him if he lost the final against Liverpool for the League Cup, if I'm going to be honest. I just think that if he wins it, excellent. If he doesn't, we move on kind of thing.
Yeah. What about you, RJ? Kepa? Mendy? Who's the man?
I flip a coin, mate. I'll do the old fence sitter. I want to see, honestly, they've got to see who's best on the day. If they're both training, make a decision then and there. Don't need to rush it now. They both should train. They're both equally capable. I don't know. To be honest, I see the logic from both sides. And I don't know if it's worth disrupting the flow at the moment, because Kepa's been going good. Is he enjoying a little bit of a break? You've got to remember, there's plenty of games to play. I'd be happy if he started, put it that way, because I think he's earned his spot, Kepa.
Interesting times. We'll see what happens with that. But let's flip over now to the English Premier League, the league we all know and love. And there were some mad results. We had kind of said on Tuesday night that we thought Villa and Leeds was going to be a great match, and we were treated. It was one for the neutral. I don't think Villa or Leeds fans will be too disappointed with that. To me, it's a fair point. Both teams were deserving of something, but did you catch any of this one, RJ? It was absolute madness.
Yeah, Villa blew it, mate. They were in control. Leeds, to their credit, never say die, and they caught up. And I thought they were going to pinch it at the end when they got the extra player, because obviously the thing got sent off, Konsa, whatever. He's silly foul to give away. Unnecessary, mate. I know what he's trying to do, but it's just silly. Almost cost his team the game. And Stevie G will know that's 2 points dropped.
Another one, Robbie, where Coutinho has shone, had another great game. We were all a tiny bit sceptical when he came in, but look, you're only as good as your last performance. Were you expecting this from Coutinho?
Oh, look, we know in his day, or back in the day, he was definitely a class player. And like I said, he went to Barca, didn't work out, went on loan to Bayern. He ended up turning good, won the Champions League there. And look, it's Aston Villa, credit to them, have taken a punt on him, and you can't at the moment. They've definitely got their returns. He's already got a couple goals and quite a few assists today. I seen, like I said, his goal, and he's more than better. The assist, the pass he picked for the second goal was just sublime. Really, really nice. So, mate, they'll be laughing at the moment. It's a loan by him, mate. He's turning up and doing the business for him at the moment. So it's a good transfer at the moment.
Absolutely, absolutely. Look, City did the business. I don't think we need to go too far into that. They did exactly what we expect from City.
It wasn't easy, that game, to be honest, just quickly for him. Like, it was a penalty and it was a mistake at the back that City scored the goals from. So it wasn't just a comfortable 2-0. But
look, that's what City do. I mean, you think back to their match against Arsenal. City will just stay in it. They'll wait for a mistake and boom, they'll punish you for it. They're a ruthless, ruthless football team. That 1 second of weakness, one lapse of concentration, City are going to make you pay. It's what we expected. I don't know, RJ, if you had anything you wanted to add on that, or if you...
Nah, they're just a well-oiled machine, mate. They've been there, won that. You know what I mean? That's champion character. That's all.
Norwich and Palace sharing the points. Norwich have been making themselves a much harder team to beat under their new manager, and it's a good point for them. I still think they're good for the drop, boys. They're going down, right?
Yeah, they're definitely going down for me.
RJ?
Yeah, more so than less so, put it that way. But they're playing better. I've got to give them credit. Let's be honest. So we'll be interested.
Did you see Wilf Zaha's goal? But that was a peach as well, man. He scores a worldie from outside the box, and then, mate, talk about bad penalty misses. Like, that was a shocker. Absolutely missed kick and a half.
I'm glad Alex has just jumped in. He's asked how us gentlemen are going. I know that I'm great, and a big part of why I'm great is this result this morning. This is what Spurs do. Can you hold that up for me, Robbie? What did you just have in your hand, mate?
My new energy drink.
You've got the Spurs bottle, Spursy bottle. I love that. Can you hold that up closer to the camera for everyone to see? Hold on, let me remove the screen. Spursy. The bottle jobs of Tottenham Hotspur do it again. Harry Kane, nothing from him. Did he even play? I'm not even sure if he played, to be completely honest. But Son stepped up, but no one else. That team is... For Conte would have to be humiliated, standing there shushing the Southampton fans, and then you get no points. You come home with nothing.
Took care on this. And look, this was the game, like I said, I was tuning in and out of all the results, but I had this game on, obviously. Like I said, as I said on the pod the other day, I like to watch the Conte games. I really thought Tottenham would have done this. And, even when Tottenham were winning, Southampton dominated most of this game. They really deserved the points. Some freakish goals at the end. Like you said, Son really tried. But they got dominated by Southampton, man. And like I said, at the end of the day, I'm kind of glad that third goal got disallowed because Southampton deserved the points.
They don't get enough credit, man. I was giving them a rap the other day. I reckon what Hasselhoodle's doing with this squad, I really like that high-octane style of football they play. I think they had a couple of key injuries, and it's nice to see Armando Broja on the score sheet and banging them in the back of the net. It's nice for our prospects to try to bring him back. But again, they're now 10th spot, Saints. They're well on course for picking themselves off near the drop zone and closer to a top half finish. Would be an absolutely marvellous achievement for them, I think, considering the financial power of those around them.
I really like this comment from Tom because I'm guilty of this. We spoke about football culture on Tuesday, and for anyone that hasn't watched the show that we did on Tuesday night with Claudio Fabiano, go back and check the conversation from that too. We really unpacked football culture. And I know as fans, we can be fickle and overly emotional. But Tom says you can't overreact when you lose a game. Other teams are always going to drop points and the top four will go to the last day. we said in our group chat this morning, and the comment I made was this season is starting to remind me a little bit of the Leicester season. You had Leicester sitting at the top. You kept thinking, what, they're going to drop, they're going to drop, they're going to drop, and they didn't. But everyone else was just awful. In that Leicester season, everyone was awful. Even, Spurs and Arsenal who finished, respectively, they were garbage. This season, no one seems to want third and fourth spot. We know that City are clear. We know that Liverpool are going to be there. But between the rest of the teams, they're just not doing anything. They're not taking advantage of it. RJ, do you think it's going to go down to the last 8?
Yeah, I think so. Like, not for third, I don't think, but for top 4, I tell you what, it's as stable as the weather at the moment. It's so up and down. You couldn't predict it. We predicted Spurs the other day, and I think United, but the more and more I think about it, the more and more they disappoint me, both of them. So, yeah, you're a brave man or woman if you can pick the correct third and fourth place this season.
Yeah, it's crazy. What about you, Robbie? Do you have any thoughts on that? Do you see my point about that Leicester season, or do you think, this is very different?
Took the words out of my mouth, Scotty. Honestly, it's playing with my emotions, literally. Like I said, if you would have seen me after that Burnley game, I was burning, to be honest. And then this morning, I see the Spurs result. And, I should be happy, but I think I was more frustrated that we didn't have it taken advantage of. We should have won that game, especially the way we played the first half again, the chances we created. And then when I see Spurs, I'm like, dropping points, I'm like, man, that's just another game we could have got that extra few points towards. I know, like I said, you guys got to play. We'll go over your games soon. You guys got to play tomorrow. I keep looking at how many games who's got compared to us, or how many have been played, and who's got games up their sleeve. And look, it's like no one wants that top 4 spot. Okay, you've dropped points. We're not going to take advantage. We're going to drop points as well. So, look, I really do think it's going to go really, really close. And I reckon every single podcast and every single match week, we're going to be saying something different. Someone's going to turn up and have a good performance. I reckon they're going to get top 4. The next week they disappoint. We're going to miss out.
We should just call it from now on the top 4 potato, because nobody wants to hold this thing. Honestly, it's so surprising how consistently inconsistent all of these supposed challenges for that top 4 spot are. It's truly baffling. Some of it's COVID, some of it's fatigue, but some of it's just sheer old. I don't know what you would put it down to, because we haven't seen this, like you said, Scott, and before that Leicester season, we got a pretty good indicator of where things were tracking. But at the moment, you get 2-3 weeks of analysis, and that becomes like 5 years ago based on the next month's worth of performances. So just take each game as it comes.
I want to just quickly acknowledge some of the comments in the chat. We've got a comment here from Alex. He said Saints were outstanding. And I think that's probably something that we're overlooking in a season where the big teams are maybe not performing consistently. You've got those mid-tier teams that are inconsistently pulling out some really good performances too. Now, that might be a bit harsh on Saints, but they were outstanding this morning and they haven't been able to maintain that. We've also got Pranav in the chat. Welcome, Pranav, a new face.
Welcome.
Always nice to see some new faces in here. Saying credit to Hasenhüttl. He set up the team in a way that tactically outplayed Spurs. He does deserve some credit there. I mean, they did outplay Spurs and they got the 3 points, which is what they want. And maybe Conte might learn to do a little bit of this in future when the going gets tough. So that
Can
is.
I just say, Scott?
Yeah,
can I just say that point you made? I thought was really good about some of the other teams might not be getting enough praise about just how good they've been going. I was just looking at the ladder earlier, and you look at the Saints, Brighton, Aston Villa's obviously making a big investment to catapult themselves back in the top 6. Wolves, of course, who are a bolter this season. 4 of those teams, you wouldn't be picking them in a top 6 sort of conversation or top 8. But now they're just as much of a shout in top 6, top 7 compared to those that are around them, to be honest with you.
Spot on. I also want to acknowledge in the chat my man G. You can find G on Cannon Chatter. We're good friends with them. Great Arsenal content. Plenty of shows.
I've tuned in as a United fan on their show a few times. Great content from Arsenal fans.
They smash
Better Arsenal fans we know.
Mate, G's a good fella, and G, if you're still in the chat, you and me need to link up soon for an Arsenal-specific show. So keep checking your DMs, brother, and we'll get on to that. Emad pointing out for United, who we're about to get to, that their run of games isn't going to get any easier. And we looked at that a couple of weeks ago. So, Robbie, without further ado, Burnley, United 1-1. It was a bit of a dead match, to be honest, in my opinion. What went wrong? Let's talk about what went wrong for United.
What went wrong? We can't score goals again. It's the same story. I don't know if anyone's seen half time. I put a tweet out and mate, I hit the nail on the head. A typical United first half. Played great. De Gea didn't even get a sniff. They didn't have a shot, let alone a shot on target. We created chances and chances and chances. I did think some of the disallowed goals were I felt a bit harsh on us. We could have been 3 goals up. We only won. I thought the Varane goal, for me, they called that offside. Don't know how they got that call. For me, that was a goal. Even the Cavani one that got disallowed with the little bit of the push and shove in the build-up for the own goal, I think that's pretty soft in my opinion, but fair enough. Like I said, so 1-0 and complete domination first half. I don't know what happens in it with our halftime talks. I honestly don't. There mustn't be a talk or anything because second half, completely different game, as we've seen for the past few weeks. 46 minutes, literally, a coach killer is scoring before halftime or straight after halftime. 2 minutes after halftime, they come out completely different Burnley side. Harry Maguire, Jesus Christ, man. Honestly, I just don't want to see him in the United shirt after a performance like that. His mistake again costing us. It's just not trying. Anyway, after that, they dominated the second half, bro. And so they could have ended up winning the game. I'll take the point now, but I've just got to get used to this, mate, because every time I get my hopes up, we've had a great first half. Let's go out. We don't get that killer goal to finish the game off, and we rue our chances of misses every single time. Mm-hmm. And if we want to get that top 4, you've got to put teams away like Burnley and et cetera, because as Emad said, in March, we've got nearly all the top 6 back to back to back. So that's going to be a challenge in itself. So what can I say, boys? That's United at the moment.
Mate, my father-in-law always says to me, it's a lot easier to climb up a ladder than to be at the top and have to come down. And I think that's something, as an Arsenal fan, I know what it's like when you're kind of starting to slip. And it's a long way back. We saw with Liverpool that it's taken them a long time to get back to being title contenders. I still think United are on the down. I don't actually think you're staying still. I think you're declining. And there's a really good question from Alex in the chat that has to go to RJ because we're both biased. Are Man United in better form than Spurs and Arsenal, RJ?
Oh, no, I couldn't say that.
Any of them in form?
Exactly. They're all equally as poor as each other. One day, we know Arsenal can play football. Spurs, we know, can grind out a good result. And like you said, Rob, United have shown patches in certain halves of football that they can play some really interesting and attacking style base. But you look at the stats for this game, 22 shots, 5 on target. The conversion's poor, the accuracy's poor, and ultimately, like us, if you don't start scoring 2-3 goals, you give the opposition hope, and that's the worst thing you can do.
As much as you guys used to take the mickey out of him, how did Ollie get this team to second last year? When you look at it, we've improved the team. We're going backwards. When you look at it last season, now for me, that's even more of an accomplishment that he got this team comfortably second last year. I don't understand how we've gone so far backwards compared to last year when we've invested in better players and built the squad. I just can't understand it.
Would you take? There's rumours about Poch.
I've said I wanted Poch the whole time. He's the one I want. He's my front runner. A lot of people are against it. Poch is the one I would go. If I have my chance to pick someone, it's Poch for me.
If you can't get Poch, but they offer you Brendan Rodgers, you still
no. I don't want Brendan Rodgers at all. I'd rather keep Ralph for now. I don't want Brendan Rodgers. I've said that the whole time as well. And like I said, everyone talks to Stegen. Look, I'm just talking personally because I don't know a lot about him. Besides seeing the run a few years ago when Ajax won the Champions League, I can personally say I don't watch the Dutch league. Besides, and Ajax are going to win the Dutch league just like Bayern are going to win the German league most years. So for me, that's not a great accomplishment. I do like, what I've heard about him. He likes to promote young players. He likes to play, nice football, etc., etc. But for me, I'll be lying if I say I watch him regularly. Besides what everyone else has heard about him, I don't know what kind of football he plays.
All right. Last one we want to talk about, and this actually, before I get to that, cracking comment from Declared. Lukaku has unfinished business at United if you want him. Robbie,
You've got him on a long contract, mate, so good luck.
Emad would rather get All right, look, let's jog on, and hopefully the laughter is long going to continue because Mr. Lampard, the GOAT of all managers in RJ's opinion, this bloke who is so deserving of a Premier League job based on absolute... Mate, I've won more on Football Manager than he's achieved as a manager in real life. Buckled to Newcastle, the team that Robbie says are going down, the richest club in the world, did them 3-1. First of all, congratulations to Newcastle. That is a big result.
That was a massive result. I'll even clap that. Big result, man.
Saint Maximin, fantastic. And Eddie Howe is getting a tune out of him and getting that team playing better. They're not coming for top 6, but they're not going down. You bet your life savings on it. Don't do that. We don't endorse betting on this show. But RJ, Frankie, I told you he's a fraud.
You lost the game, mate. I love how excited you're getting. It's so good.
Fraud watch.
You know what? I think you had a spot on the Magpies, mate. It's enough to have a laugh at the Toffees for me, and we can do that because they deserve a good laughing. But Newcastle's an improved side under Howe, not just personnel-wise, which they've significantly upgraded, in my opinion, but they've looked a better team, and he's had time to work with them. They're actually starting to look like a bit of a team that doesn't look like they want to go down to the championship. So huge 6 points for them. A couple of cheap goals conceded by Everton. They did have their moments. But you've got to give credit to Newcastle. In front of the Magpies faithful there, the crowd was going crazy. They was getting really heated at times. I thought there was going to be a couple of punch-ups every now and then, but it was just one of those games where you could feel the tension, and they deserved all 3 points. But the 3-1, I thought maybe a little bit generous because I thought 2-1, it was very tight. I felt an equaliser could have happened, but because they were obviously throwing everything at it, they conceded a third goal. That's what happens. But Lampard's got a big job to do. He knows that. It's his first Premier League game. He's had to integrate a couple of Donnies and Dellies, and I'm quite keen to see how that unfolds. But yeah, I wouldn't get too excited. I know that this Everton team needs a lot of work, and so does he. If he starts losing 2, 3, 4 games, then he's going to have a real proper conversation. But I'm not going to be drawn into your little narrative, Mr. Borg.
I wonder why. Robbie, isn't it amazing what a good manager can do, man? Like, you look at Eddie Howe. Amazing how he's managed to get a tune out of relegation fodder. and Frankie, with all the resources, Donny, Delhi, nothing, mate. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you again, Rob.
Yeah.
You know what I'm about to ask you.
I'm going to stay with it to the end of the season.
It's a reactionary FC,
Rob. Changed, mate. It's one win.
Wait,
I applauded the win. That was a massive win, but I'm still going to tip them together. I'm not going to change it until I don't change like my teams, mate. Every five, I don't change the results. Huh?
I have to check. I just have to keep you accountable, mate.
I've tipped them to go down, mate. Even if they're going to be mid-table in a few weeks, I'm still going to tip them to go down no matter what. That's it. I'll stick with it to the end of the season, mate.
I might hold off a couple of weeks before I ask you again. Now let's look ahead. Let's look ahead to some of the fixtures that are coming. I want to start with Arsenal Wolves because G, for me, has hit the nail on the head here. He said results have gone Arsenal's way, but without a positive result against Wolves, it means absolutely nothing. Arsenal do need to capitalise here. 3 points when all your closest rivals have dropped points, massive. But Wolves are not easy beats. They are not easy beats. We know they're going to fight. We were only talking about them the other week as a team that statistically and looking at the table is not out of the top 4 race. They're well in it. How are you looking at this game, though, RJ, from a neutral perspective? I mean,
it's very hard to be neutral when it comes to Arsenal after all that energy you've been throwing our way, mate. But look, to be honest with you, to be frank, a good one, Wolves have been in better form than you.
Yep,
they have been,
I agree.
And they deserve to be in the conversation of this isn't seen as an upset. This is 2 teams that are on equal footing at the moment, and them beating you at the Molineux should be seen, honestly, almost as slight favourites. I do think they're going to get a result. I think it's going to be a bit of a difficult challenge for Arsenal to go there, just like every team that goes there. They find it difficult to break them down. I think what Bruno's done there with this team, quietly going about his business, he's, for me, one of the candidates for underdog manager of the season, the way he's going with this squad at the moment. So, yeah, I think Arsenal, they've got a real difficult task to walk away with any points. I don't know what you boys think.
Robbie, I'll get you to share your thoughts before I go a little bit deeper on it. But yeah, what do you think? How do you see this playing out? And we'll need to get your score prediction too, RJ, in a moment.
This one's at Molyneux, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, look, I actually think this is going to be a really cagey match. I was nearly going to tip a Wolves win. He 1-0, but I don't think that Arsenal going to, like I said, they're going to want to get something out of this game, but I don't think they'll get all 3 points. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw in this one, or 1-1 nil. I'll go for a 1-1 draw. This one, I really think it's going to be tight, and any time in the Wolves game, famous last words, there's no more than 2.5 goals normally in every single game they play. So I'll go 1-1 in this one.
RJ, what was your prediction before I give my views?
Yeah, I'm going for a Wolves 2-1 win here.
Interesting. You're a scumbag, mate, but interesting.
Never in doubt, mate.
I want to try and keep my thoughts on this as brief as possible, but to give my thoughts on this, I've got to wind back a little bit to the January window that's just passed. We were disappointing. We didn't strengthen. We sold a lot of players who potentially could have added to our squad depth. That's a big boy move by Mikel Arteta and Edu, because as Emad said when you were talking about Newcastle, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. And Arteta has put himself out there saying, this is my team. We don't want to add anyone unless it's only the best. Now we've got to see what they can do. Am I confident that we can beat Wolves? No, I'm not. Because similarly to our London neighbours in Chelsea, goals have not been an easy thing for us to come by. Lacazette has still scored less goals than Aubameyang had this season. Eddie Nketiah, mate, I wouldn't even start him in the A-League. And that's it in terms of our strikers.
Martinelli?
Sorry?
Martinelli,
we are getting the best out of Martinelli at the moment on the left. He's not the man to lead the line, not in Arteta's system. He's not physical enough. He'll work his backside off, but whoever leads the line at Arsenal needs to be physical. And Lacazette is better at that than Martinelli. We'll see a strong team. We'll see Thomas Partey and Granit Xhaka in the middle, and if we can keep 10 men on the pitch, I actually think we will beat Wolves. These are the kinds of matches where sometimes we do turn up and get a result. And then we'll go to other matches which are meant to be easier and totally disappoint. So we've been consistently inconsistent this year. And I'm hoping for Mikel Arteta's sake and for my sake as a fan that we pick up all 3. I think we'll beat Wolves 2-1, but I think it's going to be very, very edgy. And we're really going to need either Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli, or Emile Smith-Rowe to really step up. And they won't all start. So if one of them can step up and have a great game, 3 points in the bag, closer to the top 4. But it's a big, big if. Before we move on to the next fixture, let's look at a couple of live chat comments. Tom saying Arsenal dropping points here is simply part of the top 4 race. I know what Tom's hoping for in terms of the result. Pranav, just on the Newcastle talk, is saying he was excited to see Bruno Guimaraes play. I know he didn't start, but as Pranav's saying, his partnership with St. Maximin will be crucial. He's a good player. He's a quality baller, so we'll see that as the season unfolds. Alex is calling Wolves 4-0. Ridiculous prediction. Emad saying that sometimes getting rid of players is a blessing in itself and you can start fresh. It is, but not when you're one injury away from starting Eddie Nketiah. Hugo Lloris has more goals than Lacazette. You're a clown. Didn't Arteta say that Orba was a problem and he was a solution? Well, we'll see. Let's see if Mikel Arteta can be the solution. I'm still not convinced. I'm really not convinced. And before we give our next fixture and predictions. Here's an update on the ladder. RJ and Rob, it's tied up there. We've got RJ on 128, Robbie 127, and I think it's a typo from Daniel. I think he was meant to type 140, but he put a 1. So, Daniel, feel free to fix it, mate, and we'll bounce on. Let's just keep moving, boys. Next fixture we are going to talk about is it's Liverpool playing tomorrow. And who are Liverpool playing in the morning?
Leicester. Yep.
Liverpool, Leicester. RJ, give us some thoughts.
Well, the way Leicester's been going, it should be an absolute cakewalk for Liverpool, to be honest. I'm very disappointed with what we're seeing, and reflecting on what Claude was saying the other night. I do kind of get that sense that maybe there's some insider knowledge that they've accepted some parting of ways now with Rodgers, and there's not full commitment. We're seeing lapses of concentration. We're seeing a lot of lack of professional performances from Leicester's front, and we're not used to seeing that for such a prolonged period of time, and they're looking worse. I was expecting a bounce back. With Liverpool, I think now that they've got their big guns back, Salah's going to obviously be a bit disappointed with the AFCON loss, but with Mane now flourishing, this will be a time where I think they're going to really kick on. So I expect nothing but an easy 3 points for Liverpool here.
Is Mane back? Because the last time I seen him celebrating on top of a bus in Senegal.
Yeah, but I'm not sure. I'm not meaning for this game, but I mean just in general, having him back in good form. But even him not playing, with who they've got and the way that they've been playing recently, I expect an easy 3-0 win. I'm going, actually.
3-0. What are you calling, Robbie?
Yeah, definitely Liverpool win. I'll go 2-0, but...
Yeah, I'm going to go 3-1 to Liverpool. I think Leicester will bag one, but that's probably where the fun will stop for them. I'm just going to share screen to help us get through these, because there are a heck of a lot of fixtures between now and Tuesday. Man United, Southampton at Old Trafford, the theatre of dreams, or it could become the theatre of nightmares if you approach this like Spurs did. Robbie, who's going to win this? And if you want to give a few thoughts to preview it, go for it.
Yeah, look, it was actually until 10 minutes ago, I was convinced this was actually at St. Mary's, and I was going to lock in a draw 100%. But look, not that it matters at the moment with our form at home, but I actually think we might get this over the line just. I might go for a 2-1. But if I'm being honest, guys, I'm more looking forward to Saturday night in general. Like I said, the supporters club, as I got the flag behind me, we've got organised an event at the pub. So a few of the boys in the chat, obviously Tom, Ahmad, a few of the other boys are going to meet up. And yeah, watch the game, have a beer, and then all the excitement before the game, before United normally disappoint us. So it should be a good meetup.
So 2-1 to United?
2-1 United, not confident.
I, for once, agree with Alex. It's very rare. I think he meant to type 1-1 draw. Southampton can be really tricky to beat.
They'll be on the high after today as well, man.
And this young player from Chelsea, Broja, I'm very impressed with him and what he's doing. So I'm going to go 1-1 in this as well. You guys couldn't score to save your life at the moment. RJ?
I'm going to go the opposite way. I think Saints are going to walk out with all 3 points.
Wow.
I think they are going to get a lot of confidence, and just the way that they've been playing, they don't get enough credit, honestly. And I know United have shown elements of good play, but I don't know, I've got a feeling here about Saints. They're going to walk away with this one. 2-1 win.
All right. Tell you what, that's a big boy call, man. That's not the kind
Bold
of call you make
prediction,
when you're 1 point in front. Before we get on to Brentford Palace, which will be a very quick one, if you are new, please make sure you hit the subscribe button. I think we're 16 away from 500. So looking forward to getting there very, very soon as well. Make sure you smash that like button. Leave a comment on the video. It does help to get it seen and helps us continue doing what we're doing. So if you can take a moment to do that, that would be brilliant. Brentford, Palace, I might start with this one. I'm seeing a 1-1 draw here. Palace have not been in as hot form as they were early, and I think Brentford can take a point against Palace. RJ?
Yeah, I think it'll be a draw as well, but I'll lock in a 2-2 for me. I think it'll be high scoring. It's going to be a bit more open, hopefully. So, yeah, 2-2 for me.
Robbie?
Yeah, Brentford at home. Like I said, I hope they get the result here, but I'll go for a draw as well. I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
1-1 draw, okay. That Chelsea-Arsenal game is postponed, I think. We won't be playing yet because For your boys, you'll be hoping you're winning a trophy. But Everton Leeds is not postponed. Frankie's second game in charge against Leeds will be running hot from that draw. RJ, you're his fanboy, mate. You tell us what's going to happen.
That's it. Had all that extra time now, that extra week or so to work with him. He should have him firing by now. If he doesn't, what kind of manager is he, right? So it's going to be, I expect a response 100% here. Goodison. I think a few rockets will be thrown up Everton's, backside a little bit. But Leeds are an interesting case. They showed a lot of character, bouncing back against a rampant Villa, 3-1 down or whatever it was. And yeah, this is really, really tough for me. But I think this will be, I'm going to go a draw. I expected a very exciting game and a 2-2 draw for me. Again, another 2-2.
I don't like agreeing with you, but I'm going to do exactly that 2-2 draw for me as well. What about you, Rob?
Yeah, 0-0 draw for me. Ball draw.
0-0? You don't see Leeds scoring?
No, I just think that I think Everton's they're gonna want to get a result, but I think they're gonna be a bit scared because Leeds can score, but I think they're gonna concentrate on their defense. I can just say.
Wait a minute, you think both can hold a clean sheet?
That's what I mean. I just think it's gonna be a boring game, 0-0.
If Everton do drop points, they are in this relegation talk.
Caught it last week about the relegation with Everton. It's not far away at all.
Again, I'm going to take my Newcastle stance. They aren't going down, but Frank isn't that bad. So let's move on, though. Watford, Brighton. Should be a good game. Robbie, what do you think is going to happen in this one?
Yeah, I'll be going for Brighton. 6 goals in this one, 2-1.
I'm going to go for 1-0 to Brighton. What about you, Arj?
I'm going to go actually for a 2-1 win to Watford, strangely enough.
We're all over the shop here.
They're desperate.
Not Norwich hosting Man City. Business as usual for Pep's boys. But Norwich are being tricky to break down. So I'm going to go with a 1-0 win to City. What about you, RJ?
Yeah, City to win for me. Which one you're going to say? The real Manchester City, I think, have to. They have to. I know I just don't trust Norwich at home, even if they showed improved signs. Manchester City will just have their number. I'll go for 2-0.
Robbie?
Yeah, 1-0 City to me. I think they normally have trouble with Norwich for some reason, so I'll go 1-0.
1-0. Burnley hosting Liverpool. Can Burnley do to them what they did to you, Robbie?
No. Liverpool win this.
You didn't even think about it.
No way. It's just like I said, it's just United this season, and Liverpool don't lose games like this. So I'll go for 2-0 to Liverpool.
Yeah, look, I'm going 3-1 to Liverpool. What about you, RJ?
Yeah, 3-1 as well. Liverpool lock them in.
All right. What about Shano's boys here? Newcastle hosting Villa. I think this is going to be a brilliant match. Both teams coming in having scored some goals. I think both will be confident too. St. James's Park is not a fun place to play. I am going to go, though, with some heartbreak for the Magpies. I'm going with 2-1 to Aston Villa. I hope I'm wrong, though. What about you, Rob?
3-2 Villa, and I think Coutinho is going to play a part in it again.
Nice. RJ?
Yeah, I can see actually the same result, 3-2 to Villa as well. It's going to be a very exciting game.
Yeah, Alex is calling 3-3 in that one.
Yeah,
Wouldn't shock me. Be really interested to hear your prediction for this one, Alex. Spurs hosting Wolves. We've said a lot about both of these teams tonight. Robbie, let's get your thoughts on the score here.
I'm joking. Look, I don't know. Spurs are just as bad as United. You can't pick them week to week. Wolves always hard to break down. Again, Tottenham's at home, so you think they'd have an advantage. I'm sitting on the fence again. I'll go 0-0.
0-0, board draw. What about you, RJ?
I'll go for a 1-1. I can see equally a tight game, but I reckon there'll be a couple of goals in this one. 1-1.
Yeah, for me, I'll have to agree with you, RJ. I think 1-1 will be a good one, though, as Alex says. Tough game. He's calling 2-2, so draws all round.
A lot of respect for Wolves, isn't there? It's nice to see.
It's really changed.
They're hard to break down. That's the thing with Wolves.
Yeah.
Not many people score a lot of goals against them.
Discipline, very disciplined.
They don't score a lot themselves, but yeah, not many people can break them down either.
Next one, a team that has been quite easily broken down recently. Brendan Rodgers' Foxes, and they're hosting the Hammers. Now, for me, I'm just anti-West Ham at the moment after the Zuma thing. I could not comprehend
How he started.
I could not get my head around the fact that he started. Talk about not giving a toss about the public perception or your PR. Like, that was just awful by West Ham to start him. I think everyone was shocked. I really, really want them to lose terribly. I want them to slide down that table. I'm hoping that Leicester beat them 2-1. That's what I'm going for. Purely out of spite. Purely out of spite. What about you, RJ?
You know what? Perhaps controversially, the easy option and the right option should have been to drop him. But I tell you what, it was a huge point for them. And had they missed out on top four by a point or something, people might look back and say, you know what, we should have been starting our better players and you should have handled that off-field controversy in another way. You didn't need to compromise the team's position for that. My personal view, I think he should have been dropped. But if they end up scraping the top four by a point or so, they'll look back on that match and say justified. So controversial, I know, but it could end up being financially very beneficial for them. So we'll see. But I agree. I'm not really happy with the way they've treated that. Very glossed over. And I do hope the Leicester do get a result. I don't think they will. I think Hammers will do just enough. And I see them winning 2-1, to be honest.
What about you, Robbie?
I agree with everything that RJ just said, exactly to the point. So 2-1 with all the points is covered.
I think then the next game after that is on the 16th of Feb. So we'll have a gathering on Tuesday before that match. So that's where we're going to stop in terms of predictions. But boys, big matches, very big matches. Out of all of those, which one are you looking forward to most? For me, obviously I haven't seen my team play in a long time, so Arsenal Wolves for me. But which one's standing out for you, Robbie?
I'm looking forward to the Saturday night, obviously, for the meet-up. But out of them, I think the exciting game looks like that Newcastle Villa, was it? That looks like an exciting game again.
Yeah. What about you, Arch?
For me, we didn't cover it, we didn't predict it, but just to add another trophy for us, Club World Cup, make it a treble to add to the ever-growing Chelsea cabinet. But Premier League perspective, really looking forward to the Villa Newcastle game, strangely enough. So it should be a cracker.
Nice. Emad's knocked off early. We love that.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get onto some quick fires in a moment. Before we do that, live chat, if you've got an idea for a quick fire that you wanted us to answer tonight, feel free to chuck it in the chat and we'll get to that. But if not, without any further ado, we'll start with you, RJ. You got yours ready?
No, I haven't actually. You want to? Robbie's got his ones ready. I like to improv. You know, I'm an improver.
All right. Robbie, you got yours?
Yeah, I've got 3 quick ones tonight, actually. Favorite TV show on growing up on Cartoon Network?
Oh, Dragon Ball Z. Was that on Cartoon Network?
That wasn't on Cartoon Network,
that
was
was
it?
Cheese TV.
Come on, mate.
I didn't. Was there Ed?
Dexter's Laboratory, guys.
Oh, you know what? Just keep it to. It can be Cheese TV. It doesn't have to be Cartoon Network.
Dragon Ball Z, man. Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, that'll. I'd say that or Pokemon or even The Simpsons if I'm being a bit controversial for the young kids.
What about you, Rob?
I kept mine to Cartoon Network, so I booked a couple. I've got Captain Planet and Popeye. Mate, I used to love those 2 shows.
Okay. All right.
What was that?
What were your other 2 questions?
Oh yeah, other 2. Favorite flavor for gelato?
Lemon sorbet or mango?
I'd probably say I love ricotta or I love Nutrola or hazelnut. So.
Yeah, well, I was going to say hazelnut for me or pistachio I love. And last one, quickly, Pokemon or Digimon?
Playing or watching, mate? Come on,
Watching.
Watching Digimon. I prefer the Digimon shows, but the Pokemon games.
Yeah, I was the same. I used to prefer the Digimon show, yeah.
Interesting. No, I prefer Pokemon, but I used to love playing Digimon. You used to connect them, go to your little groups.
Yeah.
1, 2, whoever got the 3rd shot, you become the hero or the loser very quickly. So,
RJ, I'm going to buy you some time, mate. There's a couple of questions in the live chat. Justin, favorite movie snack?
It's a build-up.
To me, it's got to be the old boysenberry choc top. Can't go. Well, I'm talking when I'm at the cinemas. Can't go past a good choc top.
Oh, is this at the movies? Okay, I thought it was just a movie in general. Right. Ooh,
I'll go either way. Just in my mind.
if I'm at home, I can be. I love my food. So a toffee apple. I love my toffee apples, man. I know it's random, but I love a toffee apple.
That's so random. That is so random.
Oh, you know, back in the day when I used to go to the movies at Stockies, man, I used to go and get Chinese or a kebab, and I'd sneak them into the movies. I swear to God.
Oh, you're a cracker.
What are we
Mongolian lamb or a kebab, I'll be eating at the movies, man. I used to sneak them in Sam's bag. I used to love it.
What about you, RJ?
Lost all our subscribers. Great. Good job, Rob.
We're now 600 away from 500.
For me, look, got to go traditional, boys. What's wrong with popcorn? What happened to just popcorn? That's why I used to go to the movies. Come on. Seriously.
Oh, look at that. Some good answers in there.
Gummy bears. Yes, gummy bears.
Emad, choc top popcorn Malteser. Look at Emad embracing the food
Choc
questions
top is
tonight.
good.
I know.
Good one from Tom. This will be a quick one. Simpsons or South Park? South Park for me. You, Rob?
None.
Simpsons, although both. I love South Park. Simpsons for me.
Didn't watch none. No way.
Just play along, mate.
Simpsons.
Thanks. Come on.
There
Don't
you
be a spoil sport. Alex, what band haven't you seen that you'd want to watch? For me, I know Robbie's not really into rock. This might be hard for him, but obviously never got to watch Queen for obvious reasons. Would have loved to have watched Freddie Mercury live. Just showman, man. Absolute showman. What about you?
I'll say Queen because I love that the We Will Rock You song. And who's the people that sing the Encore song? What are they called again? Is that Linkin Park maybe or
Linkin
something?
Park. Wow,
Yeah, I like that.
Awesome.
I like that. The Encore song is a pretty good song. So I'll
seen
go
them 3 times. My man.
It's so underrated, eh? They are so underrated.
What about you, Arch?
I'd say Matchbox 20, actually. I love them.
Yeah, good. Have you got your question, RJ, or do you want me to go next, mate?
No, I've got it. My question to you, gentlemen, in the live chat: which 3 famous people would you like to go and have a drink with one night? Can be any drink. Doesn't have to be alcohol. Anything you like.
I think we did this in one of our first couple of episodes.
I think was it specific though? I couldn't remember. It was like a football player
mate,
or an actor.
I can't remember my answer.
Three people. I'll go first. I'll go
famous people.
Famous people. All right. Beckham's got to be on the list for sure. I'm a big fan of Leonardo DiCaprio. I like Leonardo DiCaprio,
Nice.
Beck. And one more, maybe someone a bit funny, maybe. I don't know. I'll chuck The Rock in there. I think he'd be funny as well.
Good security guard. I like it.
For me, it would probably be Jennifer Aniston,
Oh,
Ariana Grande.
I know where you're going with this, Scotty, but we won't say nothing.
Ariana Grande, Jennifer Aniston. Mum, just talking about people I wouldn't mind having dinner with. Who would be the next one?
I wouldn't
This
mind
is a
having
drink,
dessert
mate.
with them.
Maybe Gal Gadot. So we could talk about Wonder Woman. It's a good film. Probably them. What about you, RJ?
I'm going to go for a few funny guys. I'm going to go from Jay from In Betweeners. I'm going to go for Jonah Hill. I think he's hilarious. And I'd probably 3 famous people. That's the chestnut that stood out. And last but not least, I'd probably lock in, you know what, Eddie Murphy. I think he was hilarious.
I thought you were going to say Adam Sandler for a minute there.
I was, but I had a few other people I'd like to have a separate drink with him.
I do wonder. You hear a lot of the time with comedians, Matt. You hear a lot about comedians that they're like really angry, like in their private lives or behind closed doors, that they're like not funny. I do wonder if that'd be the case, but maybe that's a philosophical pod for another day. I like Alex's answer.
Answer of the night.
Maybe, you know what, Alex? Maybe we can make that a reality. Maybe between now and the end of the season, we pick a fixture that's appealing. And we could gather somewhere to watch it and just put an open invite out.
Guys, I've got one more quick one just out of the random. With RJ done his one, similar
just
to
no
that.
more Chinese to the movies, mate.
Nah.
Hold on, Rob.
All right,
RJ,
sorry.
just ignore Rob for a sec. Pretend he's not here. Doesn't this bloke kill you? Because when we end the streams, you can see in Rob's eyes he's knackered, like he wants to go to bed. It's been over an hour. So we said a couple of weeks ago, we're just going to do one quick fire each. Keep it.
I know.
And Rob's now thrown out 4
More
tonight.
quick fires than United goals, mate. What's going
Mate,
on?
tell you what. Yeah, 100%. Go on,
Last
Robbie.
one.
We know you love
Last
it.
for the night. Have you ever met a famous person and was you're disappointed kind of thing? Like he just wasn't what you expected or something like that?
If you didn't say disappointment, I was going to say every time I look in the mirror, but what can you? Yeah, good
When
one.
you look at your hairline.
Definitely, absolutely, shining light.
But you know what? For me, you know who really disappointed me? Sonny Bill Williams.
Really?
I like Sonny Bill. I've met him before. I thought he was all right.
So I bumped into him in Darling Harbour. I had the young fella with me. I was obviously looking at him with stars in my eyes, and he just kind of like a bit of a head nod, like no time, was not even interested in any point. I wanted to ask for a picture, but I didn't even get the chance. Like he was just that uninterested that I thought I'm not even going to ask him if he'll take a picture. So Sonny Bill disappointed me. This was only about a couple of months ago, maybe 3 months.
Oh wow. Okay.
So what about you, Arch?
Me, I'll go next. For my one was Brayford Nasta. Actually, when I was younger, I had premium tickets. I actually got to sit next to him for a whole half of footy. And mate, I can't say it on here, but he was just the biggest. You know what? Honestly, I wish I never met him.
Wow.
Yeah, real arrogant. I wouldn't even say hello to him if he walked past me in the street again.
What about you, Arch?
Not that I'm thinking very deeply about it. No one that I've been disappointed with. But then again, I don't really meet too many famous people, except for you, fine gentlemen. Famous, very famous.
Oh, well, Rob, you giving 4 quick fires is good because I still haven't really thought of much tonight. That's why I threw it over to the live chat. So
there you go.
On
Take
that note, please. Rob's thrown out 4 questions. You've chucked one out, RJ, and the live chat's had a go too. We are so grateful that you've joined us tonight. We look forward to seeing you again on Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. We're going to have a lot of action to unpack. We do have a guest in the pipeline for next Thursday night as well. So really, really looking forward to that. We're not going to say anything just yet. We'll speak about that on Tuesday. Any final words, Mr. RJ?
No, I'm just looking forward to tomorrow. I've got a day off, going with the family up to Nelson's, which should be good for a bit of a getaway and hopefully just catch a little bit of football and just chill out and, enjoy myself. And before I get back into the grind, that is my work.
Enjoy your break, my man. You deserve it. What about you, Robbie?
Yeah, I hope you and the family have a good time, drive safe, and I hope United don't disappoint me and the boys for a change, mate. We have a bit of a voodoo sometimes when we go to the pub, but it's always a great night regardless. So see you there, boys.
All right, and from me, have a nice weekend. Look after yourselves and your families, and we will see you on Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Take care and have a great evening, everyone. See you later.